So earlier this week, Insomniac Games was hacked, which is an unfortunate incident, and it has had a lot of people talking with a lot of new information going out there that wasn't yet ready to be revealed. Insomniac since has come out today providing a statement about the situation. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another daily discussion. Today I want to talk about the Insomniac Games drama that is going on recently, specifically about them getting hacked and all the stuff that has come out since then, all the new information surrounding Wolverine, future projects, personal information from employees, and so much more. It has absolutely been a devastating time for one of my favorite developers, and it's not something you ever really want to see with any developer in the gaming sphere or anywhere, really. Like, a hack is a very invasive situation, and so much personal information could potentially just be out there in the wild, not even just about the games, but about the people who make the game. So it's a pretty dire and devastating time. Insomniac came out today providing new information about the whole situation, and I want to just touch base on it, talk about it, some things I've been seeing surrounding this, some commentary that's been going on about Sony, about Insomniac, about what this could potentially mean for the future. So without further ado, this article comes directly from Variety, and it states that Insomniac calls massive Wolverine hack extremely distressing. Game is in early production and will greatly evolve as time goes on. So this is coming directly from Insomniac themselves, and I'm actually going to skip straight ahead to this. It says, "Thank you for the outpouring of compassion and unwavering support. It's deeply appreciated. We're both saddened and angered about the recent criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it's taken on our dev team. We have focused inwardly over the last few days to support each other. We are aware that the stolen data includes personal information belonging to our employees, former employees, and independent contractors. It also includes early development details about Marvel's Wolverine for PlayStation 5, and we continue working quickly to determine what data was impacted. This experience has been extremely distressing for us, and we want everyone to enjoy the games that we develop as intended and as our players deserve. However, like Logan, Insomniac is resilient. Marvel's Wolverine continues as planned. The game is in early production and will no doubt greatly evolve throughout development, as do all our plans. While we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm, we will share official information about Marvel's Wolverine when the time is right. And on behalf of everyone at Insomniac, thank you for your ongoing support during this challenging time." Now, 7 days ago, or actually, I think it was a little over 7 days ago at this point, Insomniac, news was going around that Insomniac had been hacked. Now, obviously, it didn't really expect Insomniac to come out and say, yes, it's true, we've been hacked. So at the time of the news coming out from a number of sources, many people still assumed for it to be a rumor. But the people who hacked Insomniac had stated that they would have 7 days to provide them with $2 million, or they were going to release everything. Now, as you can imagine, Sony was very much adamant about this. They were like, no, we're not giving you a damn dime. And they went ahead 7 days later, as promised, and released all of this information. As I just read, personal information for current employees, past employees, not only information, leaks, videos about the upcoming Wolverine game that they're currently developing, but future projects, future games that they were potentially working on or talking about, discussing, that were coming down the pipeline all the way going into the year 2033. So this is 10 years of potential development, potential games that Insomniac has been working on that has just been leaked. It's been stolen. This data has been stolen. The information is out there. And, you know, it's something that I've definitely tried my best not to talk about, not to post about, outside of just the general logistics of the situation, the fact that they were hacked and their personal statement and stuff like that, because I just feel like it's information that the developers themselves deserve the opportunity, who worked so hard to create these experiences and these games for us. They deserve the excitement that comes with sharing that with their fans and games that they're excited to be a part of. So I definitely, you know, urge everyone that if you know of any leaks and you know of any information about Wolverine or any other games, any future games, to just not talk about them, you know, because things change. The games that were potentially leaked are games that may or may not even happen, right? These are, you know, plans change all the time. So we really don't know how the situation is going to develop. And not only do plans change, but dates change as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. So moving on to the actual article, it states that, let's see. So it states that the video game industry has been rocked by hackers this month. First, with the early leak of Rockstar Games' trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. Not only did the GTA 6 trailer launch or drop early due to a leak, information about the game from, I guess, the son of a friend of the friend of the son of an employee of Rockstar, I guess, leaked information about the game months, I think last year, I think it was September of last year. 90 videos or 90 files, videos, something like that, got leaked via a hacker who hacked into Rockstar via Cyberattack and stole all of this information and leaked it. So around this time last year, a bunch of information was going around about Rockstar and about GTA 6, and yeah, it was crazy. There's a whole video about that I did, talking about, you know, the whole situation, but I highly recommend checking that out. But in this case, yeah, there's been a lot of leaks going on recently, and this obviously this week, the hack with Insomniac, it's raising a lot of questions as to what exactly can companies and developers and studios do to protect their employees and protect the secrecy of these future projects that they're working on. So, yeah. In this week's hack of Insomniac, the developer behind Marvel Spider-Man 2 and the upcoming Wolverine game, hackers stole private data from Insomniac Games employees and released early gameplay footage from the highly anticipated game Marvel's Wolverine. All that had been previously shown of the Wolverine game was a short teaser in 2021, but now a stolen early build of the game has been floating around online. In a statement released Friday morning, Insomniac called the leak extremely distressing. We're both saddened and angered by the criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it's taken on our dev team. We have focused inwardly for the last several days to support each other, the company said. This experience has been extremely distressing for us. So obviously, we already read the legitimate personal statement from Insomniac Games. It seems like it's been a very emotional time for the studio, for all the employees, as they not only worry about how the information about themselves, about their personal data, has been leaked out into the wild, but also all the projects that they're potentially working on as well. So hackers threatened to release Insomniac's private data unless they were given $2 million, which the company refused to do. Millions of files were then posted online, which included plans for future Spider-Man, X-Men, Ratchet & Clank games that extended into 2030 under the partnership with Sony. The leaked Wolverine footage has circulated online on X, through many video game news outlets, and fans stood by Insomniac and refused to share the videos until the company is ready to give a proper first look at the game. And obviously this comes from their personal statement, and that's pretty much the article. But there's been a lot of talk about this situation this week. I think it's been one of the big topics of discussion surrounding Insomniac, and really just the, how to protect against this happening again, because it seems like more and more often now we're seeing developers kind of lose control over the narrative of how and when and in what fashion they wish to produce and showcase these games that they're working on. So it's really hard to see impromptu information be dropped out into the wild, and these hackers getting access to these games and getting access to this information and then trying to leverage their way into some quick cash. And then obviously, companies are not going to give them the money. And so as a result, they just leak everything. I just feel like I think we can all agree it's a pretty terrible thing to do. So in that discussion, there's been a lot of things, some of these things that I wrote down that have been kind of the big topics of discussion surrounding the Insomniac Games leak, leaked information, the hacks that have gone on over the last couple years. And I've seen a lot of comments with people saying, should Sony have paid? Now, in my personal opinion, right, I'm going to give my opinion on this one. I don't think Sony should have paid, because it was a lose-lose situation. Whoever had hacked Sony or had hacked Insomniac Games already had the data, right? They already, released their demands of $2 million. So Sony really only had two directions that they could go in with this. Number one, they could pay the people, right? But if they paid them, there's two things that could happen. They don't know if they will actually get all of the information that was stolen back. And two, they could just take the money and not pay them, right? They could take the money from Sony, they got their $2 million, and still not release that information. They could just disappear, right? There's no saying that could not happen. And then the other side of things, they could pay them, right? Maybe they get the information back. And if they do, that doesn't stop them from potentially doing it again. next time they do it, maybe they ask for more money. Maybe it's not 2,000 or $2 million. Maybe it's $5 million, right? Maybe it's 10 million. You know, it's the epitome of it's a bear situation, right? You feed a bear once and the bear is going to come back asking for more. So I think if Sony had met those demands and said, hey, we really don't want this information out there, we're going to bite the bullet, we're going to pay $2 million, which is a lot of money, even for Sony. It's a lot of money. And so even if they were to have done that, right, the hackers could have still released the information. They could have kept it and disappeared, or they could have given back the information that they stole, the data they stole from Sony and from Insomniac Games, and still just had more. They would have enabled them just to do it again later. So I think Sony made the right call, and Insomniac Games made the right call in refusing those demands, because it was only going to empower the people who should have never done it in the first place. So that's all I have to say about that. Now, what could Insomniac Games do in the future to protect themselves? Honestly, this one I can't really speak on. I don't really know, because I don't work in game development. So I don't really know all the intricacies that go into protecting their data. I'm sure that they will enable and enforce more, you know, firewalls or whatever you enforce in these kind of situations. I'm not a tech wizard, so this is obviously just speculation, but I'm sure they will inevitably enforce more barriers to prevent this sort of thing from happening in the future. And I think when something like this happens and a big leak like this occurs, naturally you can expect that other developers around the industry are going to tighten up security as well. And it's not to say that, you know, a hacker can't potentially break through these barriers that they set up, right? Nothing is, you know, impenetrable. So I'm sure if they really want to get that data, they really want to get that information, they can. I don't know how people come up with this stuff or how people find a way to do this stuff, but, you know, it's obviously beyond me. I think Insomniac is in a really vulnerable position right now, trying to figure out what data was breached, what data is missing, and what they potentially can do to better protect themselves in the future. And I'm sure nobody knows better than Insomniac how exactly how this leak happened, how this data was breached, and how to prevent it in the future. And one of the final things I've been seeing, actually another thing I've been seeing, was what can we do as a community? I think we all have an important role here. I think when it comes to, you know, breaches, obviously there's only so much that we can do. But I think, you know, for me and for a lot of us who are big fans of Insomniac Games and the games that they've developed over the years, like I've said before, they're one of my favorite developers of all time. I think we obviously have a role in this situation to not share and not talk about leaked information, right? This is information that should have been afforded to the developers, the people that worked on these projects, the people that put their time, blood, sweat, and tears into creating these things. They deserve the opportunity to choose how and when they, you know, discuss and reveal these potential games, this potential, you know, this future footage and stuff like that. So I think the best thing that we can do as a community is to not feed into this and not feed into information that really isn't ours to share, right? I think unless it comes directly from Insomniac, from their social channels, from their pages, a reveal or a trailer about their future games, I don't think we really have a right to discuss it. So, you know, that's something that I'm really, you know, trying to stay away from. Any new information that comes out is information that's going in one ear and right out the other. I don't want to know about it. And I think, you know, that's the best thing that we can do, is just to not feed into to hyping up the people that have wrongly violated one of my favorite developers and a developer that I would say is keystone in the gaming community. I mean, the games that they put out, I truly feel are special, and they're games that have had a long-lasting impression on me as a gamer and as someone that loves this medium. So yeah, I think the best thing we could do is not discuss it. And what does this mean for the future? I mean, it's tough. It's tough to say. I think things are going to be more tight-lipped than ever. I think Insomniac is really going to buckle down, try to figure out how they can protect themselves, and also just, you know, keep doing what they've been doing, working on Wolverine, working on whatever future projects they have. And, you know, I think in many ways, nothing really changes. Obviously, you know, from our perspective, I think Insomniac, you know, for all the employees, a lot of things are probably going to have to change. And, you know, like I said, security is going to have to tighten up a lot more, knowing that this has happened to them. So I think there will be some changes, but I think in terms of what they said, seems like Wolverine is you know, continuing as scheduled, and they're going to continue to work on that game through 2024, and we're going to be excited when we finally get a real first look at the game. So that's all I have to say about this whole situation. I think it's really unfortunate, guys, and it's something that you hate to see. ever happen, you know, whether it be in the gaming industry or in any other industry. It's something that feels like it's happening more and more often, and I really wish that it wasn't. But, you know, I hope that Insomniac Games can come back stronger from this situation. I know I can't imagine how violating this must be to have your information stolen like that. Like I said, it's not just about the games, it's about the people who make the games, and their information was stolen. Past employees' information was stolen. And so, you know, how do they protect themselves from potential identity theft and things like that? There's a lot to be concerned about with this situation. That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. I want to continue talking about this as the situation develops, because I feel like it's an interesting and important thing to discuss. And I think, as I said before, we all have an important role in this situation. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I think it's an unfortunate thing to happen, especially around the holidays. And like I said, I just hope Insomniac comes back better, stronger for this. And I'm sure whenever we do get information about Wolverine coming directly from them, I'm sure it's still going to be a really exciting time. So like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoy these kind of videos, dropping a like on this is very much appreciated, very much helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new here, all that good YouTube stuff. And until then, thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is That Guy Rye, and I will see you in the next video.